Stay tuned for a seminar presentation with Dr. Rabbi-Cohen Shalomim HaLahawi. He is a Mizrahi Jewish Levitical priest, world-renowned integrative physician, and author. He's also a public health expert and TCM medicine researcher and inventor. A socio-spiritual political leader under the Mizrahi Ethiopian Jewish International Rabbinical Council. The medical director of Adonic Light Integrative Pastoral and Family Life Care, and president of the Cushiite Hebrew Yeshiva Open International University. The topic: addressing sickle cell and thalassemia disease. Join us for a seminar filled with intriguing insights and expert perspectives.
All right, everybody, listen up. So, on Sunday, tomorrow, we're going to have a session on nutrition. This is really for tomorrow, but we're passing it out tonight, so you can come with any questions tomorrow, okay? Dr. H is going to go over, talk about holistic health and some of the services that we will be offering at the Wellness Center. Sanctuary. Sickle Cell Sanctuary.
So that name was place with y'all.
The tour upstairs? Yeah.
What name was it?
It's called the Sickle Cell Sanctuary. Alright, so Dr. H loves questions. So it's gonna be a discussion, question and answer. Alright? So if you guys have any questions, let's throw it at him. He's ready. No, you don't have to. You can talk loud enough. Or if you want to yeah, so let's get the conversation started. We got a question over here. Santu.
What treatments do you have for
fatigue? We do nutrition, comprehensive wellness assessment to check the nutrition level. Because if you have
You kind of low down.
Yeah.
I'm low.
Yeah.
Everybody need that microphone. Don't bring on the mic. Okay. Testing. All right.
Oh, there we go.
I don't like this kind of mic. But she was asking about fatigue, and I was stating that we have comprehensive nutritional wellness assessments where we can actually check the nutritional level. Because if you're suffering from fatigue, you're most likely you have nutritional deficiencies probably in several areas, including vitamin D. Vitamin D is a hormone. It actually affects your immune system. It affects your overall health. The B complexes, folinic acid. Remember I was talking about folinic acid. Like I said, folic acid is the synthetic version. The folinic is the natural, and that is usually what is in what we call prescription nutrients or prescription vitamins. You need adequate levels of that. If you don't have adequate levels of that, you're gonna always feel fatigue. Some people develop what's known as chronic fatigue syndrome. And then not only that, coupled with that, if you have sickle cell, you're not getting enough oxygen in your blood, and that's playing a major role. So we address all of that by assessing you and giving you the right testing that you need to be able to address that issue.
How do you make an appointment, and what days will the sanctuary be available and hours?
The sanctuary will be officially available this Tuesday, and it'll be available from 11 a.m. to 6 p.m. Tuesday through Thursday. You go to sicklecellsanctuary.com. Remember that sicklecellsanctuary.com. There's a sign-up portal. It's a nice new advanced type of portal where we can actually interact with you. You can write journals. We can monitor your health. You can send us messages. You can schedule either for in-person consultation or you can schedule for telehealth. If you don't feel well and you need help, then you could do telehealth. And if you can't come to, we're developing a naturopathic pharmacy. And if you're not able to make it there, we'll just ship it to you. So it's pretty simple. Try to make it as simple as possible. And if you do have any problems, all you got to do is contact the office, and they'll work with you through it and everything. It's just make sure when you do the patient portal, fill out all of your health information. Because if you don't, we don't know what we're dealing with, and we can't schedule an appointment because we want to make sure by the time you get to us, we want to make sure you got your comprehensive labs and everything, or if you already have labs, we'll accept those and you just upload them, and we'll have a plan for you already set in motion on your consultation day. And if there's some additional information you need to know during the consultation, you just easily adjust it, and it'll be a smooth sailing versus coming in, and then we got to start from scratch when you come in.
Okay, so the machine that we saw when we first entered, it's like a machine that we step on. What does that machine mean?
Oh, the Sickle? It's an interesting machine. It's called the Sickle.
Like an X-ray?
Like exactly what does the machine
Measures your body temperature.
It,
That, because the way she explained it was kind of nerve-wracking.
You say nerve-wracking? No, it's a simple machine. I use it for weight. It can tell me your body mass index. Of course, the only way it could work is you have to wear form-fitting clothes, like spandex, gym clothes, and everything. You can't wear. They can't read you if it's baggy.
That's a good thing to know then.
Right.
Like coming to the sanctuary.
Right. So you have to have those kind of clothes on unless you plan on dressing down. That's up to you. And it measures your fat, body mass index, and it gives like calculated predictions of possible health disparities that you could possibly experience. Of course, I use that as something to consider, but mostly I measure that with the comprehensive wellness assessments, and which are blood labs, we do genetic testing, all of that stuff, and everything, to actually get an overall picture. So it's just like an introductory, when you come in for assessment. It's not really that much different than going to a regular clinic and going through the blood, getting your blood pressure, stuff like that. Just a little bit of additional advanced technology to give us some information and warnings of possible circumstances we need to pay attention to.
Do you guys accept any insurances?
We do accept insurance. If you have sickle cell insurance, you don't have to really worry about that actually, because the services are free.
Oh, there we go. I'll see. Okay.
But we do accept insurances. I know it's Kaiser, Blue Cross Blue Shield, but we're still working on that because I'm not exactly sure what all the insurance are at the moment. But sickle cell, we're not talking about.
Okay.
It may be an obvious answer, but is it only for people with sickle cell?
No.
Okay.
No, just sickle cell patients get the services free. Everyone else, of course, if they want services, they do have to pay.
Okay.
So when I went into the sanctuary yesterday, I was very interested in the hydration treatment.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, they looked like really promising. I wanted to do it outside before I even saw the sanctuary. I was wondering, when we come in for services, are there services we can ask for, or do we go based off of what you feel is best for our circumstances?
Okay, with sickle cell patients, you automatically are entitled to glutamine and glutathione intravenously. You're automatically entitled to that. You don't have to do blood labs and everything. That's across the board. If you want to do other nutrient cocktails and everything, you do have to go through the nutritional assessment, because we need to know whether you have too much of one nutrient or too little of another one. Like you see a lot of these intravenous places popping up everywhere, and they just go in and just pop in and give you nutrients, but they're not testing. So how do they know how much to give, or what is too much or too little? And we actually have safety barriers to ensure that you're getting optimal care and everything. So you'll be able to get the nutrient, you'll be able to get, I believe it's going to be saline, D5, glutamine, and of course, different type of vitamin and mineral cocktails. And then after you do a couple sessions of the intravenous, we put you on oral vitamins and minerals because you can't do intravenous nutrients consistently because it actually can become harmful. There's a certain, level that it can do.
How often can you come? Like, of course, you probably can't get everything done in one trip
Right.
or one day. So how, is it like you can come and have so many sessions in the month, or?
It depends on what you're coming in for. If you're coming in for like the biopuncture, massage therapy, reflexology, stuff like that, you can actually we could put you on a plan where you come once or twice a week, or for so many weeks, whatever. And of course, if you renew, and we're actually going to be giving out cards similar to the Grey Card to all sickle cell patients and everything, so that you can actually show your card and just go in and we'll sign you to biopuncture, massage therapy, reflexology, stuff like that. Go ahead.
Is there like a verification we need to go through to prove we have sickle cell? Like, so that people who don't have sickle cell aren't saying they got sickle cell and get the services for free?
If they don't bring their records to prove, then they got to go through electrophoresis automatically. That's it. And we're going to get Who's it?
The acupuncture thing that you guys have, can you go into depth about that?
Well, we call it biopuncture.
What's it called?
Biopuncture. The reason why we call it biopuncture, I have a background, I'm a graduate from the China Academy of Chinese Medical Sciences, and I have a background in acupuncture and Oriental medicine. However, for me, I don't do the pin acupuncture. I do electroacupuncture, which means I use electric currencies to address the same issues that the needles, and it's actually safer as well. But that, it doesn't end there. You also get compression therapy. We have what is known as a key machine that sways your legs back and forth, and it actually creates circulation in your blood and everything. And every person that's actually have tried it in the past 15 years, when it stops, they feel this burst of energy in their body and they feel renewed. A lot of people go to sleep, way more. So it's a whole relaxation thing. We also have a type of biopuncture for your feet and everything that does more compression. It's like you have reflexology, but you also have deep compression, which targets certain acupuncture points and everything that we do. In a lot of respects, massage therapy, reflexology, and biopuncture will actually overlap. And it's like a total relaxation experience. I guarantee you, probably gonna go see it.
I didn't see it, I don't know if it's called something else. Is there like any sort of detox treatment? Because I was speaking with my mom about how organ sanctuary after an extended hospitalization would probably be very beneficial to like reset in a way.
So I have a plan. I have two plans. One is a controversial plan. I'll bet this is controversial. And then we have a regular plan where, when you go to the hospital, they pump you with all of these drugs and everything, and they pull you from it, you go through withdrawals. That's just going to happen, and that does not feel good. No. So I have a solution where once you come out of the hospital, if you stop by the center, or if we already prescribed it for you, you will have actually something to actually help you with the withdrawal symptoms until your body normalizes. But we also have, we have detoxification plans that even help you reduce your need for narcotics and everything. A lot of people are not aware, but there's clinical studies from major international hospitals and universities that have did this study that certain types of melatonin, melatonin is not created equal. Do not go to the store and try to buy your melatonin. You'll ruin your biosystem, and your sleep will ruin it. But melatonin, when it's taken as a prescription, after 9 days, your brain shuts off the need for narcotics if you take it and you just don't want it. So we have that, and it's coupled with, we have medicines that help with anxiety, that help with depression, all of those things that you go through when you go through withdrawals. We have all of those things to mitigate symptoms and everything until your body balances and everything. Yeah. And it's all natural. Like I said, the medicine I gave earlier, he was in crisis. It helped. It's not narcotic.
Can I ask you name what medicine you gave?
It's called Lopafol. That means that's Aramaic for no inflammation, no pain. Yes. And like I said, it's manufactured in the FDA approved facility. And we actually have what's known as Lopafol Max. If I were giving Lopafol Max, you wouldn't be in here. You'd be on cloud nine in the bed, shouldn't you?
And then I didn't see it at the sanctuary, but what's your, even though we don't like cold sometimes, what's your viewpoint on cryotherapy?
CRISPR?
Like cold. Cold.
The whole area comes out, there's some, they have all GM and some places. Yeah.
That's gonna be cool. So,
I'm gonna look it up though, now that you mention it and everything. And also, so you all know, if you do decide to do CRISPR, or you decide to do hydroxyurea, like I said, there was a young lady who was interviewed on the news and everything, and I told her in front of the staff and everything, we can help you with the symptoms or whatever symptoms you may be experiencing or some of the side effects. We can help you with integrative medicine because I'm about integrative medicine. I'm not. I said I want to use it, but if you want to use it, I ain't gonna say, well, you're on your own. I'm gonna try to help you with the symptoms so that you don't have to be going through whatever the toxic side effects. We can do that. So that's the whole point of integrative medicine. When you take Eastern medicine, Western medicine, you integrate it together to make it work, and it works good like that. Because you need both. You can't have them without that. That's the truth. Because if you're in a serious crisis, you want to go to the emergency room. I'm just being honest with you, and then afterwards, come see me. What's that?
So have you ever heard of Even Flow?
Who?
Even Flow.
Say it again.
It's called Even Flow. It's a
Even Flow. Yes, it's a brand, right?
It's the brand is Sickle brand, but the name of the medicine is called Even Flow.
Right.
It's like, it helps manage yeast and.
It's an herbal supplement.
Yeah.
Have you ever seen the FDA, CGMP, or NSF certification on it? They'll tell you, it used to be on the website.
I think it's on the website, yeah.
If it's on the website, then it could be okay. I just know that if you come under our care, you do have to sign an agreement that
FDA?
it says FDA, CGMP, and NSF. Those three. Okay. FDA is the one that regulates drugs, but they also regulate rules for how you manufacture dietary supplements. And there's two types of dietary supplements. There's prescription, and then there's over-the-counter. When you think about over-the-counter herbal supplements, put it in this category. If you got in a major car accident and somebody tried to give you Tylenol after you done broke your neck, what was your response to it? You crazy. You want some morphine or some Dilaudid. Well, if you have a chronic disease and you go to Walgreens or GMC or the herb shop and you're trying to buy herbal supplements to treat a disease, that's Tylenol. But if you come to a qualified physician, naturopathic physician, doctor of integrative medicine, chiropractic doctors who do functional medicine, they're able to prescribe you the therapeutic that are designed to address diseases that are manufactured with FDA, CGMP, and the NSF usually tells you that it's at the prescription level, and usually you can't buy NSF certified supplements online because you have to get a prescription. That's also for homeopathic medicine as well. That's prescription.
So I did look on the website and it says, It just says the savings on the site have not been evaluated.
Okay, so this is the funny thing. The Food Administration, Food and Drug Administration approves the facilities that we manufacture our product in, but then force us all to put that statement on. So on my prescriptions, that is the same. Because they approve the facilities, because the facilities are up to standard, are able to manufacture the medicine properly. But whether the medicine work or not, that's not the work of the FDA.
Another question, sorry for all the questions. So let's say you find, not prescribe, but you offer or suggest certain natural vitamins to take. If it's a big overforce pill, it's not going down.
I'm not going to prescribe that because I wouldn't do it.
So I take gummies.
I do gummies.
You have gummies? Okay.
Yeah, we have gummies.
So do you prescribe, like, I don't know if it's prescribed, but do you like offer, vitamins?
Right.
Like monthly visits, stuff like that?
Once you do a nutrition assessment, yes. And how many of you all already have vitamins in your possession?
What was the question?
How many of you have vitamins already in possession?
I'm here.
Does anybody know what type of B12 is in your vitamin?
No.
If it says cytocobalamin, so your vitamins in your garbage. Cytocobalamin is a synthetic.
What about black girl vitamin?
Who?
Black girl vitamin and sea moss.
It's not necessarily. Sea moss is not a vitamin. It's just.
But I mean, they provide you the whole vitamin.
The brand is like
Black girl vitamin.
Once again, if it doesn't have the CGMP NSF certification, it's not qualified. Well, GMP, good manufacturing product, and NSF. That's when you get NSF, that means it's a prescription level product. If it doesn't have that, then it's not qualified. And if you're taking, like I was saying, you have to do an agreement that you cannot take over-the-counter herbal supplements or vitamins when you're under our care, because they can interfere with our naturopathic medicines. Because we don't know where they're getting their use. Like for example, if your vitamins have cytocobalamin in it, that's synthetic. And it's usually made from animal and human sludge. And it calls it, and actually, it's supposed to, B12 is supposed to help with anemia. Cytocobalamin will actually keep you immune and actually make you immune. So you gotta be careful with what the ingredients are. All, just because it says vitamin A, vitamin B, C on that, D, what kind is the question? That's what matters.
So if we're going into the nutritional assessment, can we just bring all our supplements?
You're gonna have to, yeah, you're gonna have to. Or you can just list them, when you fill out your patient profile, you just list all of them. Cyanide, like cyanide, because that's the molecule that's in the cyanide. Cytocobalamin. It's cyanide with cobalt. That's what cytocobalamin is.
So when we do the nutrition stuff, and we do get prescribed like vitamins, we have to throw away our vitamins.
I'm not gonna tell you throw them away, but you can't use your stuff with ours. Because it's gonna make it null and void, because you can end up having interactions, and we can't be held liable for that.
Okay, so the ingredients is glucose, syrup, and some other sugar.
What's the B12 salt?
That's a lot of sugar right there tonight.
Let's see. How you feeling?
So that's just for anybody who needs it. That's the
200 IUs? And so obviously that's vitamin D3. So I don't know why you. Oh, this is vitamin. Okay.
Is that okay or not?
Yes, that's fine.
Okay.
And you got to be careful with your D vitamins. There's a difference between D1, D2, and D3. I have to say it.
So D3 is not right?
D3 is the safest. D2 can actually increase the chances of having a heart attack or stroke, just like folic acid. So, it can increase the chances of a heart attack or stroke if you take D2. You always want to have D3, and if you're taking over 2,000 IUs and up, you're supposed to be getting liver enzyme tests every month because that's considered high. If you're not doing that, then over time you could be harming yourself. It's like a low to moderate risk, but it's still possible. Anything over 2,000 IUs, you have to actually get liver enzyme tests every month.
So, I'm sorry, y'all. So, do you, like, when you do the test thing or whatever, do you also test for like GI tract, like for, how?
We can, yes. My minimum test is a 50, but I'm offering a 70-point test, which is less expensive than the hospital's 24-point test. So it's comprehensive and it checks everything that they don't check in the hospitals and everything. It's very comprehensive.
We were talking about like supplements like different forms you like have it moving toward. I saw like little models from like teacher forms, like forms.
Those teacher forms are not natural medicines. They're like topical stuff like that. Those are not internal.
So all like the stuff, I'm used to like all like the things that you could use, like what we want to do, are they all things or the?
No, we have gummy options. We have liquid, we have capsules, vegetarian capsules, we have gummies, we have different forms, including, like I said, intravenous. $2,000 of diet D3 will fix you faster than 50,000 of D2. That's a fact. It's 50,000. That's asking for trouble. Even if it was D3, that's asking for trouble if you use that long term. That's dangerous, actually. You don't need that much to actually get your E levels up.
Y'all be taking the eye doctor or eye person, for eye reading?
You talking about iridology? Iridology is pseudoscience. Pseudoscience is fake. It's not real. It's not recognized as legitimate. So anything that's a pseudoscience can't come up in there. Yeah. Ophthalmologists, optometrists. That's what we use. Yeah, it's called iridology. I know what she's talking about. Okay.
So, like the services first, what about this?
I'm working on, in the next week, so I have to subsidize or cover. So I'm working on that myself to try to push for that. It depends, and see, we go by funding, state and private funding, so we have to make sure we have enough funds to be able to allocate to a certain amount of patients and everything. So I'm working on getting that subsidized because that's one of my biggest concerns because financial costs can interfere with compliance. And what I'm offering is what is known as managed patient care, meaning that I'm actually putting myself on the line to actually compete with other allopathic doctors, Hydrea and everything. And I got a year to prove whether what I do is has comparable results, worse results, or better results, and everything. So I have to get patient compliance, and one part of that is ensuring everybody can afford their prescriptions and plans.
Okay, so I'm looking at I'm actually on the sanctuary site, right, trying to sign up. And it's a medical record number, so are we like?
The medical record, if it doesn't say mandatory, we'll send that to you. So it's only the mandatory fields.
Okay.
Yeah. And you do have to upload your ID.
Can you go into the harmful effects of hydroxyurea that you were discussing earlier? I just want to make sure, because I used to be on hydroxyurea and I just like stopped taking it. I have like ideas about it. I haven't taken it in a long time, and I
will simply state what the Canadian Medical Association and what the creators of it said themselves. What I said earlier was not a personal opinion. It was what the manufacturer said and what the Canadian Medical Association as well as the World Health Organization said about hydroxyurea. So I'm only going to state facts. It's not a personal opinion. It's not biased. It's just
right. Yeah. No, I appreciate that.
Hydroxyurea does stimulate fetal hemoglobin. So you do get a sense of wellness and everything. It's palliative in nature. Just keep in mind, feeling good externally versus being good internally are two different things. It's almost like, I would say, a placebo effect, but it's an approved placebo effect under the guise of evidence-based medicine. However, it is known to actually damage your DNA and your RNA. It is actually known to make your cells toxic over time. And it is known to, if you pay attention to the label, you know the little fine print, it specifically says that. I've seen it on the prescriptions. Anybody who's in the home that's not taking it cannot come into contact with it. That includes people who are taking it for the cancerous conditions. Anybody who's in the home cannot come into contact with it. That's what they say, not what I say.
What you mean?
They can't come in contact with it at all.
You mean can't touch it?
It's up. You know how when you're in the hospital and they come in with the x-ray and they make everybody else leave, but you know when they take the x-ray? That's the same thing.
So if you're a caregiver or something like that, what if it, like, they can't even touch it?
It gives a warning not to come into contact with it. But, based on the patients that have passed, not just here, across the nation and overseas, because I've overseen, keep in mind, I work with the Nigerian government, the Ghanaian government, I've been providing them naturopathic medicines, I work with medical missions, all of this stuff. And what has been found is those on hydroxyurea, at some point, it shuts off simply because it has made your body so toxic that your body can no longer thrive, which can lead to, and this is what the manufacturer says, it says it eventually causes sickle cell crisis. I have documents, and I got in trouble for posting them 10 years ago. I got in a lot of trouble. I had to move Florida. I'm being honest with you. I had to move Florida. They came, if you only done, my spine got completely damaged. I was paralyzed because of retaliation, because I posted that. That's just the truth. That's why I'm passionate like I am. It's not a bias. It's what I see. What I do is when I come around sickle cell patients, I try to take on the feelings, the emotions. I look at everybody, observe everybody, and what I try to do when I speak, I try to speak as an advocate, what everybody else is thinking. And that may not sit well with a lot of doctors, other people's there. It's not intended to bash hydroxyurea because, once again, if you take hydroxyurea, you want to do this, there's a solution that can be integrated to help mitigate those toxic effects. So, those are the facts, but that's not the final solution. You can incorporate, just like chemotherapy, for example. Everybody knows the toxic effects of chemotherapy, but if you integrate, they got national hospitals that do cancer treatment. They offer it on the TV, and they tell you they also use naturopathic medicine with it, right there, because the naturopathic part makes it easier to go through the process and through treatment, even though it's toxic. So it can mitigate the toxic effects, and it also can enhance the effectiveness of the radiation that's killing the tumors. And so people usually survive when they do naturopathic and allopathic chemotherapy together. So when somebody comes and says, I just want to do chemotherapy on it, I was like, I can't help you with that. Because it's a liability. So, who you? Okay.
now that I'm hearing you say it, I really do believe that it was a hydraulic, like I first believed, because after I would take it, I would feel like really, really weird and sluggish and lethargic, and it was almost as if I was having pain crashes because of taking the hydraulic, like after. My hair started falling out, I was having chills, and I was like, I absolutely
When I stopped taking my hair, it really
so I went to the yard, and they were like, oh, like, they were like, no, that's probably just not it, you just have to keep taking it. I was like, no, I was like, I'm not doing that, because that's just, I don't understand, what is actually happening. But I stopped taking it because I don't feel like it was like anything anywhere that they said that it was, but it took time.
Let me say this. If you want to start hydraulic surgery, you can't just abruptly stop. If you abruptly stop, you're going to get sick. If you don't have a backup plan, you're going to get sick. And I've seen it at the wellness center already. Those who decide to abruptly stop, and they say, well, they heard you talking about it, and they decided they don't take it anymore. But they abruptly stop. I didn't tell you to stop abruptly. I'm just telling you facts. But you got to have a backup plan. You have to have if you want to go to naturopathic, you better incorporate that and slowly come off. Because you can harm yourself pretty bad by doing that. It's almost like a person who's been addicted and taking crack all their lives. They use this example. And all of a sudden they stop taking crack. What kind of symptoms they have? They have violent withdrawals. And some people actually have heart attacks. Some people die. It's the same thing. You have to wait. Even with narcotic diet, you can't just abruptly stop. You will harm yourself. You have to have a plan to help you wean yourself off. So that's what I'm taking. Don't take, I know you may not like it and everything. I told you to empathize with you. But if you don't like it, don't take matters into your hand like that. Have a backup plan and make sure that backup plan works. And if you want to get on cloud line like Dean did today, come see
So Dr. Collins, he didn't really answer my question. All he said was it was safe. Can you just tell me straight up, is hydroxyurea considered a chemotherapy drug? Because because my doctor told me that if I kept taking it, or anyone who really takes it, a whole lot of people who've been taking it long enough can result into infertility.
That's true. That's correct.
Really?
That's correct. Even with regular chemotherapy, that can happen. Sure.
I have high levels, unexplainable high levels of fetal hemoglobin, and they don't know why. But I also have high levels of bilirubin. And I'm trying to figure out, like for me, my numbers are extremely high or extremely low. I don't have a middle ground. So like my hemoglobin level, everything's like I'm at a 4 or 5 on the regular. Like I'm not I'm only running home. Is that because I have high hemoglobin or what? Like I haven't been sick in like 5 years, like as far as being hospitalized. So like.
But you have an anemia problem. Basically.
Yeah.
The fetal hemoglobin obviously is affecting and reducing the crisis. That's good. That doesn't change the fact that the genetics are still there because it's caused. It's not anemia.
Right.
So you still have the sickling part. And your cells, because if you have high bilirubin, that means your blood cells are down really fast. Now, your RDWs obviously is going to be high as well. Now, one of the reasons that could be the underlying cause is because you live in a place that's 1,000 feet above sea level. Atlanta is 1,000 feet. Atlanta is basically on a cliff right before you get to the mountain. So we technically, if you ever drove from Florida to Georgia, it looks like you're going up. And when you're going from Georgia to Florida, it looks like, well, that's what's happening. It is known that sickle cell patients, the higher the level of elevation, the more likely your blood cells are going to die fast. And so all of us, me, with no crisis and everything, my RDWs is always high. Not really, my bilirubin is very high, but my RDWs is always high. That means my body is working overtime to create new blood cells. And that's because we live here in Atlanta. Now, if I live down by Miami and everything, I don't have that problem. And if I live by the equator, down in Ecuador, I wouldn't have any problems at all. The closer you live to the equator, the less likely you have a crisis, even if you have severe crisis here. So elevation also plays a role. And getting 1,000 feet above up, we're in air. And we already know about the whole thing about flying, that's even higher and everything. But it may not be as high as flying, but we're still in the air technically up on a cliff. And that is affecting us as well. Okay.
Talking about like elevation and stuff, my dream job is to be the flight attendant. Be honest,
Let me answer the lamest version of you become a flight attendant. If you are a CP time person and you cannot get there on time, you will be fired so fast.
Okay.
Well,
No, but I'm saying that's one of the biggest things.
Yeah.
A lot of people think
That's
flight
true.
attendant, like they're not waiting on you and
That is true.
you will get left and you will be fired. That's the first thing. So
If they were hired in the first place, because there's now been a policy put in place where if you ask for an oxygen tank, you say, why? You say sickle cell, they might not let you fly. So they're starting to kick sickle cell patients off the planes now.
Yes, yeah, that's why when y'all going on planes, y'all don't need to be wearing sickle cell paraphernalia. I'm just saying, you need to just go in as a regular person. I'm flying, I just flew last week for work. I was cold. I had on a hoodie, 2-3 layers of clothes and socks, and was still cold.
Y'all bring out heating pad on the plane?
So cold.
Y'all crazy.
I don't wear nothing. It was still like no shirt, no nothing.
You got a power.
You don't know.
USB.
But
It's almost like, I guess,
Georgia. You gotta be ready.
Just got like, you're trying to get a liability issue because of complications. But
So we not supposed to ask our doctor for no oxygen control?
it's ridiculous, and it's just a constant struggle against discriminating against trees and stuff. That's just the reality. And that's why we're building a community to take care of ourselves, because we can't rely on everybody else to have our back. We have to have each other's backs. That's just our
I know when I'm clapping, my legs be.
It varies from person to person. Some people can fly, some people can't.
it's where
It was to the point where I couldn't even fit my glasses. That's how swollen I was.
I like, my mom always tells me that, oh, you can't breathe after oxygen. I'm just like, they will argue back and forth before they pull out that oxygen. And like now they're like loopholes too, like you can get like oxygen again from like CVS and Walgreens.
Right, I was saying you get oxygen.
And you can go through TSA, so like I don't know.
Exactly. That's what I was saying, so thank you for saying that.
and or schedule your
It's a little action thing, you know. They can't stop me, it's funny, they're gonna come. Any other questions?
But you flying will increase your sickle cell crisis. I had a friend who was a flight attendant, and between her being late in her crisis, they let her go.
And one of the reasons why it's kind of risky is because you're exposed to extreme amount of radiation. Once you fly everything, it's the radiation from the plane and the fact of how high you are, all of the radiation that hits the earth, solar flares and stuff, especially on solar flares, all that radiation is just like pounding everybody on that plane. And you have a sickle cell, that just adds to the problem. And then it basically risky.
you can't lay it up. You gotta put stop it, you know, what company you gotta put skirt and everything.
Now, theoretically, if you were hired and you let you use oxygen tank, you might be okay. Might, I can't say. It just, that's a difficult dream. I'll just be honest with you.
Doesn't mean you can't do it, but
And a plane being pressurized can, it does help as well. The plane being pressurized kind of helps,
I want to be CIA.
I want to be a firefighter.
Can you do like one of those hotel rolls?
Sure can.
Also, too, you're exposed to like multiple people too, like in different countries.
Well, you're exposed to multiple
I
people
can't
anywhere.
imagine how quickly you can get sick as a life to me. Not to say you.
What's up there on the table?
Absolutely.
I'm having a hard time saying
I have.
because it's not letting me put my birthday.
You got to put it in as the day, the month, and the year.
I am.
Yeah.
Maybe because you do it on your phone.
No, I just did it on my phone.
Some people have problems with certain phones, but I like that. I do this. I like it. Because I don't know this.
Nice.
I am messing.
Yeah.
I'm like, what?
That's the number one problem.
What's your favorite
Yeah.
My favorite treatment? I like the key machine.
The who?
The key machine. Raise your legs back and forth, you're laying back in the back seat.
That's a
I mean, when I first got it, absolutely. I was snoring, I was so snoring. My dinner was so.
He said it earlier.
No, I was gonna ask him what led you to getting into the UN? I only asked you because I want to be a diplomat.
That's a scary question.
Yeah, what got you there?
You're the camera on.
Politics.
Yeah.
Well, everybody it's not a secret because it's out. Everybody knows I've been on television using it. This might as well talk about it. So, this goes back to the Ottoman Empire. 1885, my family had to flee, part of my family had to flee from Mount Carmel in Palestine because the Ottomans tried to kill my family off. I'm a descendant of several rulers of the Middle East. They tried to kill them off. So my family had to actually flee to Italy, get on a boat by stowaway, and come to America. They landed in Charleston in 1885.
Charleston, South Carolina.
They landed in Charleston, South Carolina, stowaways. So we were under U.S. protection, including the CIA. So my dad, U.S. police, he decided when I was a child to learn how to hack and decided to hack the Pentagon defenses and disable them temporarily, resulting in the CIA, FBI, and everything surrounding our whole family in Jacksonville, Florida. My family did my family hackers. So, Jessica, good, that's the story. So they arrested him and took him to the Pentagon and told him to say, show us how you did that, do it again. And he did it again. So instead they all gave him an ultimatum. We can put you in prison for life, or you have to work for us for life. So he became a CIA. So it gets worse from here. So in the 1990s, my daddy decided to go rogue in a good way. And he did a sting on the Baltimore Police Department where he was surveilling them because they were planting drugs on black people and just arresting them. And they would stop them. My daddy busted them, but the CIA, for y'all probably know, was already planting drugs inside the black community. That's a fact. So they retaliated against him, and they actually tried to get me. They forged a lawsuit in my name. I was only 18 years old. Against him, pitting me against him. So they started threatening my family and all this stuff here. So then the United Nations out of the clear blue calls me and say, we've been hearing about everything you and your family have been going through. And we think you would be a perfect advocate as a peace ambassador. As scary as it was, I checked it out and everything. I actually became a member of the World Criminal Court, and I started from there. And then I went to medical school in India, and then not only did I go to Pakistan, but I graduated in Pakistan, ended up establishing a college in Pakistan. And then I started, then I was appointed, because I'm also a Jewish rabbi, by the way. I'm a Rabbi-Cohen, Ethiopian Jewish Rabbi-Cohen, because I'm of both Mizrahi and Ethiopian Jewish descent. So I'm a rabbi. So I was appointed as the chief representative of the state of Israel to the Muslim world to try to bring peace. It was called the Seed of Abraham Accords in 2014, and it became the Abraham Accords, if you know, heard under Donald Trump signing it, where they made peace. Yeah. And then, anybody watching WWE? Yeah. Well, I'm an WWE fan, so when I worked for the United Nations, I used to always say a thing at the assembly. I was like, we're going to bring world peace. I'm going to make sure that I'm going to get all the world leaders that are enemies. We're going to be sitting down watching WWE. We're going to be making plans. And everybody cracked up laughing. Then all of a sudden, WWE ends up in Saudi Arabia. Keep in mind, Saudi Arabia is used to be one of the most strictest countries on the planet. Women had no rights. Now all of a sudden they got WWE. Now all of a sudden the women can drive. Now all of a sudden the women can be free. Now all of a sudden everybody wants to go to Saudi Arabia. And now all of a sudden all Jews are hanging out in Saudi Arabia with the Arabs. I played a role in that. I played a role in the first Jew of Pakistan being registered and being promised that he'd be saved by the government. And so I played a role in all of these things here and everything until, unfortunately, the recent tragedies we see going on and everything. And so now it's been what? Yeah, it's been about 20 years I've been working for the United Nations. I've been a peace ambassador. I've been a representative of the state of Israel. And I've also done humanitarian medicine after I graduated from medical school. I oversaw the civil war in Syria. I oversaw medical speaking. And I oversaw the medical missions in Libya, Ghana, Nigeria, Belize, Mexico, Costa Rica, South America. I'm still registered. When my back got screwed up and everything, I went on leave, but they still paid me. They still paid me and everything. And I was actually getting ready to retire and go to Ghana, Africa, until the Sickle Cell Foundation found my curriculum vitae somehow, and I'm not working for them.
That's amazing. Yeah. I want to live abroad, medically, even though I'm going to be homeless thing. What would be a great safe country to go?
Medically, holistically, I love Ghana, but I'm sorry. Ghana is too dependent on Europeans. I'm working on it too. Ghana, don't get me wrong, Ghana is a beautiful place to live. I mean, I love that place. Ghana has been one of the most stable countries in the whole continent. And when Gaddafi was alive and Libya was stable, it was even more stable. And somehow, while other countries are falling apart, Ghana's still hanging out. You know, that's the place to go. You'll be safe there. You know, Costa Rica is probably the safest place on the planet. That's just true. Just the spiders. I can't handle that.
Well, like, since you said, like, you were going to go on leave, so, like, have you, like, stepped back in, like, aid was going on in Palestine, in Israel, or?
I'm super involved in that.
Let's not get into that, guys. We're gonna start a war in the politics.
Yeah, I'm very much
Very
involved in
conversation you don't have to friend.
I know the truth and the facts, and what you see on the news over here is not the truth nor the facts. It absolutely is. Even medical wise. Over here, Cuba has the best medical system in the whole northern and southern hemisphere.
It's just Eastern, Western.
Well, Thailand is in Asia. Asians practice Oriental medicine. Oriental medicine is about the best thing other than conventional medicine. So I'm pretty sure you could get quality care there. And anything else, all care outside the United States is horrible. Literally. Yeah.
How many languages do you speak?
Primarily English now. I just have some accent problems. Aramaic, Syriac, Aramaic. So, because I speak Syriac Aramaic, I kind of can't understand people who speak modern Hebrew. It's not the same. And I used to be very, very fluent in Spanish, but I can pray, I can pray and sing in Aramaic, Spanish, Zulu, Igbo, Arabic, and Geese. Yes.
Did you teach yourself how to speak those languages, or you had a teacher?
I learned the music. And of course, when I went to medical school, I was raised with Syriac, but medical school helped me learn more biblical Hebrew and everything. But the other languages, Spanish, I took up Spanish when I started in high school. And Geese, most of the people in Jewish people speak Geese and Pirate anyways. It's just hard to remember when you live in the United States because you're not expensive. But go ahead.
Is it possible, like, once we're finished with this discussion, can we talk more about Palestine or what you?
Absolutely.
Yeah.
Absolutely, I have no problem with that. Yeah.
Thank you.
Thank you. I really enjoyed this. Love you guys.